Welcome to the Side Hustler Podcast, the podcast for women building their dreams while balancing work, family, and all the things. I'm your host, Carly LeBlanc, a wife, mom, marketer, and your side hustling friend here to teach you how to grow a brand that works for you and not the other way around. Whether you're a side hustling pro or just starting out, this is your safe place for real talk, actionable strategies, and the encouragement you need to keep going. We're here to help you make progress and not perfection. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's build your dream one step at a time. Hello. Welcome back to the Side Hustler Podcast. I am your host, Carly LeBlanc. I'm so excited to have you today because, man, we are about to get into something really, really juicy. So I'm excited because if you are a side hustler like me, who is balancing a full-time job, you may be even a solopreneur doing it all on your own. This episode is going to be for you because I'm actually pulling the curtain behind my brand and giving you insight on the systems that I use to fully run my brand. Now, one of the things that I find often is that people are always asking me about different systems that I use to do different things in my business. And so I'm super excited because this is really going to be able to not only show you some systems that I use, but also the structure that allows me to show up without being burned out, that allows my business to flow and function while I'm working my full-time job or while I'm running around with my kid without losing my mind. So I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about all things email marketing, content creation, client management, financials, all of the things. So I'm just super excited because I know that this is going to be an insightful episode for all of my side hustling entrepreneurs. So without further ado, let's get into my favorite systems that I use to run my business. Before we dive into today's episode, I have something special for all of my side hustlers out there. Are you building a business while working a 9 to 5 and you're tired of wasting time on marketing strategies that don't actually move the needle? Then you're going to want to get plugged into my weekly newsletter. Every single week, I'm giving you the real behind the scenes scoop on what's actually working in marketing and business. No fluff, no gatekeeping. Just real strategies, insights I'm testing in my own business, and practical tips that you can apply right away. If you want to work smarter and not harder and finally start seeing momentum, then head over to cdcreativecoagency.com/newsletter and get locked in. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is email marketing and communication. Now, it's without no question. I mean, you know exactly what I'm about to say. Email marketing has been one of my favorite tools to connect with my email list and my community because we all know social media does not push our content to 100% of our audience. And so I really love email marketing specifically for that reason. I love being able to shoot out an email to, whatever segments that need that email to really make sure that my message is getting to the person that would benefit from it the most. And so my favorite tool that I love to use is, without no surprise, Flowdesk. You hear me talk about it all the time. I'm also a Flowdesk partner, so I'm a little bit biased, but I love to use Flowdesk because I use it to send out my weekly newsletters where I offer value to my audience. I'm either telling them about some secret tip or thing that I found out within the week, or I'm either telling them about, my podcast episodes that went live. I'm also using it to market my packages, my offers, my events. So I utilize email marketing for a lot of different things. I also use it to deliver my free guides and have automated workflows for when people sign up for my freebies or things. So I really love being able to use Flowdesk, not only because, Flowdesk is amazing, but it also really just allows me to have really beautiful branded emails that feel like me. They feel cozy, but I don't have to do a lot of coding, where I don't have to be tech savvy to even figure out how to utilize it. And so I really love it because I also can create my own templates. I'm not starting from scratch every single time. I could just go in, add the copy within my template, and boom, have my email scheduled, ready to go at the top of the month within 15 to 20 minutes. absolutely amazing. I also love the list segmentation option that allows me to segment people in different groups. So if I'm sending out an email blast to, specifically Houston entrepreneurs, I can make sure I'm only sending it to my Houston entrepreneurs list rather than my entire list of people that are all over the world. So I love Flowdesk. And obviously, because I'm a Flowdesk partner, I have a discount code where you can take advantage of getting 50% off of your Flowdesk subscription for the year. Now that is really top tier. So if you are looking for a email service provider to try, or maybe this just made you want to try Flowdesk out, definitely use the code Side Hustle, or you can click the link in the show notes and it will prompt you to creating your account there, and you will get 50% off of Flowdesk for the entire year. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is client management and admin work. So I love HoneyBook. HoneyBook is my CRM of choice. It's not without surprise. I've also shared this several times on socials if you follow me on Instagram, but I swear by HoneyBook because I've tried several other CRM systems like Dubsado and Pixie Set specifically for my business. And I really, really love the interface of HoneyBook because there's so many amazing things that HoneyBook can do. I love being able to send my proposals and everything be branded. I have my contracts in one place. I can send my invoices there. I can set up payment plans. I can manage my payments. I can automate my onboarding. I can see my project timeline. The list goes on and on and on. Okay. And HoneyBook is another platform that is also user friendly. You don't have to be super tech savvy to figure it out. But I absolutely love HoneyBook. And what makes HoneyBook even better is that HoneyBook now integrates with Flowdesk. So when someone fills out my form, it automatically gets added to my email list in my list segmentation as imported from HoneyBooks. It automatically does that for me, which obviously is top tier for someone who doesn't have a lot of time, especially since I work a full-time job. So I absolutely love that. And I think that it really just gives my clients a different elevated experience. I love when my clients are able to say, oh my gosh, this proposal is so organized. It's so beautiful. It looks very professional, clean. So I love just being able to offer that experience to my clients where everything is just in one place. They can click a link, it takes them directly where they need to go. But even on the client end, it's easy to navigate. You don't have to explain to them what to do. It's so easy. I absolutely love it. And so if you also want to try out HoneyBook, I will have a link in the show notes where you can try out HoneyBook in your business, see if it works, play around with the system, try it out, and let me know your thoughts. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to be getting into my podcast because obviously that's something new that I've recently started to integrate into my business. And this has been kind of one of the things that I've been still kind of playing around with. But now that I'm like 20 episodes in, I kind of got the zhuzh of how to manage my podcast. There are several of tools that I use. So I want to specifically focus on my recording tool that I'm recording on right now, which is Riverside. I love Riverside because it keeps everything clean and simple. I'm able to have a studio link that I can add into my calendar invite, so I don't have to manually send the link every single time someone books because the link stays the same. But I also love the fact that Riverside has AI tools to help making editing simple and making it easy to clip up smart clips to market my podcast on social media. I also love how it has the transcript to kind of allow you to edit using the transcript versus having to cut, paste, and do all the things there. So I really love Riverside. I think that it has made things like easier for me. Now, I do know that there are several other recording tools. I know that there are people that are like, well, why don't you just record on Zoom or Google Meet? I get it. I just like being able to have the interface and being able to have all of the options where I can, add my music and add all of these things within the platform. So I do everything, recording, editing, all of the things, exporting, all within Riverside. I don't have to go from app to app to app to app. So I love that. Now, after I record my podcast, I then upload the audio file to my hosting tool, which I recently switched over from Spotify creators to Buzzsprout. Now, if you are interested in podcasting, I want you to listen up, because a lot of people, whenever you're first starting out, you fall into that trap of like wanting to use all of the free tools because you're like, I don't know if this is something that I'm going to want to stick with. But I will tell you, if this is something that you really see yourself doing, I will encourage you to switch over to a paid hosting software rather than sticking with Spotify creators, which is free, because Buzzsprout really allows you to be able to have full access to SEO friendly descriptions. You have more space in your show notes to utilize keywords, but then also you get detailed data on who's listening, who's downloading, where everyone is. And so Spotify creators, it is good. It does allow you to get the job done. But if you're really wanting to see how many podcast downloads you get on a monthly basis, there's not necessarily a feature that allows you to see that through Spotify creators, which is important when you want to start, pitching yourself to monetize your platform through brand partnerships and things of that sort. So if that's something that you are looking forward to as far as like monetizing your platform, I would definitely tell you to start early with the paid hosting rather than going through the free hosting Spotify creators. Now, that's only if you don't care about the data. I'm a data junkie because I need to be able to see what I'm working on and if it's actually, generating stuff. Okay. So I will tell you that that's my word of advice. Now, another thing that I use is I use my scheduling tool for my podcast, which is through Calendly. Now, I know people are going to be like, well, don't you have HoneyBook? Like, why are you not using your HoneyBook calendar? Well, that's because HoneyBook is specifically for clients, for leads. I don't want my podcast guests getting mixed in with my leads, if that makes sense, because most of the people that are on my podcast are not ideal clients of mine. And so I don't want them getting caught up in my HoneyBook CRM. So I like to keep them separate. So my podcast coffee chats, my podcast recording links are all hosted through Calendly. And then I have all of my calendar links for my leads and all of the things through HoneyBook. Okay. All right. So next up is my favorite topic, which is content creation. Now, this is going to be a shocker to many of you because I don't necessarily use a lot of software for content creation. I mean, when I am brainstorming my content, I typically like to use pen and paper. I know that there are several tools and templates and things out there like Notion and all the things, but I like to use like my whiteboard or pen and paper to brainstorm my ideas. And then I shoot my content on either my phone or my camera. But then after I get all of my content, I like to use CapCut. So CapCut is my go-to for video editing because it's free, it's beginner friendly, and I'm able to really kind of like utilize the whole brand suite where you can upload your brand fonts and colors and keep everything cohesive. Now, I do pay for CapCut Pro because I do love being able to use the teleprompter feature whenever I'm doing my talking heads, or I like to be able to have like different branded things. So I pay for CapCut Pro, but you are also able to get away with the free account is loaded with a lot of good features. So if that's something that you're not interested in paying a subscription for, definitely you can still get away with using the free interface. Now, I really pray that they do not take CapCut away from me again, because oh my gosh, when there was a TikTok ban and CapCut was out of commission, I was out of commission because I did not know how to use any of the other video editing features. And I was just like overwhelmed. I was stressed. I was like, you know what? Maybe this is God telling me I need to fast from social media, okay? Because I could not figure out how to edit my content. And I was quite frankly very annoyed. So hopefully they will never take CapCut away from me again, because I don't know what I would do actually. But I use CapCut to edit my reels. I use CapCut also for adding different things to my video clips for my podcast clips. I like to also use CapCut to edit my client content. And that's also if I'm not sending my content to my editor. If I'm doing something myself manually, then I'm most likely using CapCut. Very seldomly, I will edit content in Instagram, but if it has like a lot of edits, a lot of chops, cuts, most of the time it's on CapCut. Now, I also not by surprise, like to use Canva when it comes to graphics and things of that sort. Whether I'm making my mood board for my clients so that they can see what content concepts we're going to be capturing, whether I'm creating promos for my lead magnets or even my lead magnets, my brand kits, anything that's like visual. I like to use Canva. It's not by surprise. And also, if you didn't check out Canva Create, which happened last month, where they were talking about all of the different features and things that are to come in Canva, I highly, highly, highly recommend you go check it out on YouTube, because Canva has its own AI system, and it has this cool feature called Canva Code, where you can basically build anything that you would like with Canva Code. It basically is your personal coder for you. So definitely check out Canva Create, because there's so many new features that Canva is going to be offering this year, that will really kind of help you to be able to streamline and make your graphics and, do all the things that you need on socials as it pertains to design without spending as much time. So that's pretty much it of what I use for content creation. I know that it's like, girl, you're a content creator. I would have expected that you had a lot of software here, but absolutely I do not. My main ones are just, Canva and CapCut. So y'all already know I'm all about working smarter and not harder, especially when it comes to marketing your brand. And if you're still relying only on social media to reach your audience, we need to fix that immediately. Social media is cute, but let's be real, the algorithm is unpredictable, and your content is probably only reaching a small percentage of your followers. That's why I swear by email marketing, because when I send an email, I know 100% of my subscribers are getting my messages. And the best part, Flowdesk makes it ridiculously easy. You can send beautiful on-brand emails, automate your sequences, and even create landing pages without needing to be tech savvy. And because you're listening, I got you a deal. Use my code SIDEHUSTLE at checkout and you'll get 50% off your Flowdesk subscription for the next 12 months. So if you're ready to stop relying on algorithms and start building an email list that actually converts, try Flowdesk for free. And don't forget to use the code SIDEHUSTLE at checkout for that exclusive 50% off. Now that we're talking about content creation, I want to move into automations, because automations has been like chef's kiss for me, especially when you are a side hustling entrepreneur, because most of the time you are not in front of your computer, you are working your full-time job. Or if you are a full-time entrepreneur, most of the time you are doing your client's work. So you don't have the time to sit around and send manually invoices and contracts and, proposals and all of the things, follow-up emails, all of those things. So I'm going to talk about my favorite automation tools. So first off, for my client interface with HoneyBook has its own automations built in. So when it comes to my onboarding, when it comes to payments and scheduling strategy calls and all of those things, I have those set on automations within HoneyBook. Okay. So that's that. But anything outside of client relations, I use Zapier. So Zapier is a place where you can basically link things together. I don't know what I was saying, link things together, but you get what I'm saying. So Zapier is a third-party app that basically allows you to link different systems to one another. So for instance, if somebody is filling out a form on my website that is hosted through Wix, but I want their information to get added to Flowdesk, Zapier will be the connector that connects Wix to Flowdesk. And so the cool thing about Zapier is, because it's been around for so long, you're able to build out so many amazing automations that you never would have thought about within the Zapier interface. And the awesome thing about Zapier is that you could get away with getting like 100 zaps for free. Okay. I do not pay for Zapier, but I have at least like 7 zaps that are in my Zapier account, and I, get that for free. So if you're trying to set up different automations to where you don't have to manually do things, I would definitely check out Zapier. That's Zapier. I will also link it down in the show notes so you can check it out, but it will definitely help you streamline your automations to have things working behind the scenes for you, so you don't have to do it manually. Another automation tool that I love to use is ManyChat. So ManyChat is what I like to use to automate my DMs or my comments. When people comment on my content that leads to like my free guides or my lead magnets, that automation that triggers, them to get a link sent to their inbox, that's through ManyChat. So ManyChat is basically something where you can say, okay, you have a piece of content, whether that's a reel or a carousel, and you're like, oh, comment the word content to get my free content creation guide. And if somebody comments that word, then ManyChat sends them a DM to the link to grab that free guide. And so I love using that to help build my email list, because several times I'm talking about my free guides or my events or my episodes. So having that work behind the scenes for me. So when someone comments at 2 a.m. in the morning and they're not waiting for me to wake up at whenever I wake up for me to send them the link, is absolutely amazing. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you can also check out the show notes. I'll have everything linked down in the show notes so I don't have to keep saying it after every single section. But you can check out ManyChat for your DM and comment automations, and I will have that link down below as well.
Okay, real quick. If you've been showing up on socials and still not getting the results you want, I want you to listen up, because I'm offering free social media audits exclusively for my side hustler listeners. If you're not sure if your page is actually attracting the right clients, or if your content feels all over the place, or you just want to make sure that you're on the right track when it comes to building your brand, I got you. These audits are where I go in and I look at your page and I give you the personalized feedback on what's working, what needs to shift, and how to start creating content that actually converts. I'll also drop a few tips and strategies that most people aren't sharing, because I want to see you win. And the best part about it, it's free, my friend. So head over to cdcreativecoagency.com/audit and secure your audit today.
Now, let's get into the serious thing where we're talking about finances, okay? Which is one of the topics a lot of people do not like to talk about, because finances can get a little shaky. I do not have time to be digging through receipts at the end of the year, keeping up with paper receipts. I do not have time for it. So my favorite software is QuickBooks. I feel like QuickBooks is a lifesaver for me. It makes everything easy because I use it to track my income, but also my expenses. I have it automatically linked to my credit card and to my debit card. So whenever I swipe my business credit card or my business debit card, any of those transactions are already linked to my QuickBooks account. Okay. It also helps me to track my mileage, because I do a lot of driving. Obviously, I'm a local business. I pull up to businesses all the time within the Houston area. I do not have time to calculate how many miles it is for me to get from one place to the other and then back to where I need to go. So QuickBooks allows you to track your mileage without you necessarily having to do anything. And then also it makes your taxes and your reports easier at the top of the year that you have to turn into your CPA for your taxes. All you have to do, if you're tracking your stuff and going in and, putting your eyes on your bookkeeping, if you're keeping track of those expenses at the end of the year, all you have to do is go and export the report and send it to your CPA, and it's done. So I love, 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 love QuickBooks. If you're not tracking your business finances through QuickBooks, I would definitely recommend. But if you like the Excel spreadsheets and being able to do everything manually, then go for it, sis. But that's just not me. So I like to use QuickBooks. It keeps my bookkeeping organized all in one place. And it really just makes it easy for me to be able to keep track of things. But also, if I want to go back to 2 years from now, I can go back and see, what my revenue was, what my expenses was, what was my net profit, all of the things. And so I love being able to have all of my financials in one place instead of having to manually keep up with all that stuff. I cannot do it, but if you like to do all the manual, that's cool. But I definitely recommend using QuickBooks to organize your bookkeeping for sure. The last thing that I want to hit on is my website and my email, which I probably should have made this like first, because I think this is one of the things that a lot of people always ask me about. And so I use Wix for my website hosting and also for my domains. And then I use G Suite or Google Workspace for my workspace, for my personalized email address, for my calendar, all of the other things. I'm going to get a little bit more into this because I think that there's a little bit confusion on domains and websites and all the things. Okay. So when I'm talking about websites, like when I'm saying, okay, where is my website built? It's built on Wix. I purchased my domain. So my domain name, if you're not familiar with that, the email address or the website address that's personalized to my business is also purchased through Wix. I love Wix because it is super, super user friendly. I am not tech savvy by any means necessary. I love being able to just drag and drop different elements on my website. If I need to create a landing page really quickly, Wix makes it possible to just copy and paste templates. And so it makes everything super easy. Now, I have friends that are in the industry that are like, girl, you need to update to WordPress, Squarespace, show it. And I'm like, no. So if you are the type of person like me that's not tech friendly or tech savvy, I would definitely recommend Wix as a place to host your website. And then also, if you're looking for a place to purchase your domain and have everything in one place, I would definitely recommend Wix. I know that the other platforms do that as well, but I just like being able to have all of my stuff in one place, my domain and my website in one place. And then on the other hand, G Suite, which is basically the place that allows me to have my personalized email address. So instead of me having at gmail.com, it has at cdcreativecoagency.com on my email address. I use G Suite. And I love that because it obviously makes my email address look very professional. And then it also keeps everything, within one big hub. So if I have any Google Drive documents, if I'm sending content to my clients through Google Drive, everything is all in one space and I don't have to go from here, there, and everywhere. Okay. Whew. So I know that was a lot. I feel like that was a lot, but as you can tell, running a business while working full time is not easy. But when you have good systems in place, it makes it super doable. And these tools allow me to work smarter and stay consistent and serve my clients well without needing a whole team behind me. And it allows me to really just put my best foot forward as a solopreneur or a side hustling entrepreneur. So, and also I want to say, don't feel obligated to have all of these systems. Maybe you could just start with one that you really, really need and then start to continue to add them on. You don't have to necessarily sign up for all of these subscriptions by any means necessary. But if you find that there is a area in your business where you're lacking and you can have a system in place to kind of help you stay organized and stay with your best foot forward, then definitely check out these systems. Like I said before, I will link everything down below in the show notes. So if you're wanting to try out some of these systems, definitely check them out. And if this episode helped you, or if you have a friend, a side hustling friend that's also running a business that may need some systems to be put in place to help them become more efficient in their business, then definitely send them this episode. All right, well, that's it for today. And I hope to see you in our next episode. And as always, keep hustling, sis. You got this. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Side Hustler Podcast. I hope you're leaving here today feeling inspired and ready to take your next step. If you love this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another side hustler who needs to hear it. And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at Carly Dorlin. I'd love to hear about your side hustling journey. Remember, you're doing better than you think, and your dreams are so worth it. Until next time, keep hustling, sis. You got this.